guys, I'm coming to you from the totally glamorous, where I do my podcasting stuff, Witchfix Podcast HQ. There's the microphone that cost me so much money. Here is my, like, really squeaky chair that you can probably sometimes hear, but I can't edit it out of when I was talking. But I'm here to talk to you about yesterday because I went thrifting. This is not unusual for me. I go to quite a lot of charity shops, car boot sales, various bring and buy, white elephant sale type affairs. They're like my favourite thing in the world. I do have my favourite charity shops because I don't want to be the person who says, this charity shop is too expensive, but I still remember when you could get, like, paperback books for 30p because, I mean, it's a used paperback book, and now you go into shops and it's like, oh no, that'll be £2.50 please for this used paperback book, which we get thousands of donated every day, but £2.50 please, and I just find that really weird. So, yesterday I went to get a haircut. Where we go to get our haircut, there is, like, a bunch of charity shops, so we went there, and then we went to a Jumble sale, which is a hospice Jumble sale, which I'd never been to before, and it was terrifying because normally at car boot sales people will kind of get in front of the stall and then they all kind of move in one direction, like a conveyor belt of people, and they will look at sections of your stall at any one time and then they'll go on to the next one. This Jumble sale was mad as because people were just like shoving in. When people got in front of a table, they wouldn't move. They would just be like, meh, my space, my space. So, yeah, that was terrifying. But I did get some rather good stuff, and I wanted to show it to you just to be, like, sharing some ideas of things that I can do with the things that I found, whether you have any ideas for things that I can do with them, and just to share kind of my joy of thrifting. So this is the first thing that I found. It was in a charity shop. It was 99p. From, doesn't say, but it's a nice little box, nice clean wooden box, and it's got all this nice carving stuff on it, and I like it. I like to have boxes around. I like to keep crystals and things in them, one because it looks decorative, but also because it keeps things together. So, you know, if you want to get your crystals out, then they're all in the box. And that was 99p, which is like the perfect price to pay for that. That was actually the only thing I got at the charity shops. Everything else was like too expensive or just there was nothing to find. But then we went on to this Jumble sale. So these two things here cost me £1.50 for the two, which is actually the most expensive things that I bought. This is an old woodwick candle jar. You can see inside it's got like all the stuff about woodwick candles. I've never had a woodwick candle, so I don't really know a lot about that. I was interested in this jar because you can see it's nice green glass and has definitely already had a candle in it, but it's clean. So I've been trying to find jars and things to pour some of my own candles because buying jar candles makes me feel quite wasteful because I'm not sure that the glass can actually be recycled. If you do know that, I mean, let me know. So what I try and do is make use of the jars afterwards, and I wanted to start pouring my own candles because I make mostly freeform candles in moulds, but I do like a jar candle, and this one is going to be my Prosperity altar candle. Because of the green glass, green for me is like a prosperity colour. I don't know if that is because I've just been indoctrinated by so many years of reading other people's correspondence charts, which I think rely mostly on the fact that American money is green, or just because it's just a colour that speaks to me of like growing and abundance and things like that. So there we go. And I figured it's already heat proof because it's had a candle in it, and yeah, that was a pretty good find. I'm going to maybe pour a beeswax candle with some of my herbs and oils in it for prosperity. This is the other thing I got. It is really quite an ugly painted box, but it is, if you look inside, and if I take out the other thing that I bought, which I should have done before, it's a cigar box, I think, that someone has like painted in that weird 90s sun and moon on a blue background design. But I have some sandpaper which I used on another craft project to sand some words off of a box, so I'm going to sand it down and see what I can do with it. But it's a nice size to be like a tarot card box. You could maybe fit 2 decks in there even, or you could just keep other things in that. I've been looking for one to keep my spell candles in, so this is perfect. This I got with something else for £1, so essentially it was 50p. It's an abalone shell. There's lots of stuff about why hunting abalone is bad, but I figured because it's secondhand, it's probably not doing too much harm. It does have this kind of rough, gross part in the middle, but I think that's just part of the shell. It's not something that's happened to the shell. Oh, this camera will not focus. But yeah, I thought that would be nice to use as an altar dish, or to keep things in on the altar, like my smudge sticks and lighters and various things that I use all the time. The other thing that I got, whirling you past my messy bedroom, is this guy. So this is my altar, if the camera would ever focus. It's on this bureau. There we go. And I keep on the top just the stuff that I like to see every day. So I've got this candlestick, which is from a charity shop, which is very pretty. This is actually from the Witchcraft Museum. It's a small version of the hair goddess woman that they have in the museum, which is really cool. Also a charity shop. I think this is a stylised Virgin Mary statuette, because it kind of looks like a pregnant lady in a robe. But I've had that for, gosh, years. I got that when I was about 15 from a charity shop, and it's been my goddess statue ever since. This is a new addition from yesterday. These are daffodils, because we're coming up to Imbol, and I wanted to watch some things grow on my altar. And this is what I got yesterday. He is a god figure for my altar. I've actually never had one before. They're really difficult to find in my experience. You can find a lot of statues of like things that you could say were goddess statues, but I never really find things that speak to me and my idea of what the god is like. But this guy is just a log. I think it was once a wall decoration, but it has been carved with all this stuff. And he was 50p. So that was like my favourite thing. I literally saw it as soon as we walked in and grabbed it, and I was like, no, it's mine. So I was really excited to find that. And I just wanted to highlight that because sometimes you just find these things out at Jumble sales. And it's kind of like that they've been waiting for you in a way that they don't feel like that when you just buy them from a store that has like 80 of them in stock. It felt like this thing like came to me, which was pretty exciting. This is my current prosperity candle. It has some dollars from my trip taped to it and some coins. It's not burning down terribly well. I keep having to empty out the wax because it just like drowns in it. And I got that candle actually from the H-E-B in Texas when we were on holiday, because you like can't find these plain religious candles for reasonable amounts of money anywhere that I've looked, and in America they were like $1, so I was like, I need to stock up. So that's like the main thing that I bought back from Texas. I'll just move my little lucky cat. This is actually the thing that I bought the sandpaper for. It's my manifestation box at the moment being used for abundance. It was from a charity shop. It was 99p. It was actually originally a box that Earl Grey tea bags came in from Marks and Spencer's that someone had donated to charity, because it's quite a nice box. In the centre here it said like M&S Earl Grey tea bags, so I just painted over that in black. This pattern and the pattern on top were already on it, so I kept those because they were really pretty. And then on the back it had all the information about the tea printed here and like product information, so I just sanded that lightly off and it just completely came off, which was great. And I've rubbed the whole thing down with attraction oil, which I made according to a recipe from, I don't know, is the book in here? Yes, Charms, Spells and Formulas, Marlborough, which is really good. This is so messy in here, I need to clean this up. Which has a lodestone in it. It's made with lovage and lemon, so rubbed it all over that, so now it has this nice sheen to it, and it came up really lovely. I'm really proud of that. This candle holder is just a bottle that I got from another charity shop. That was £2.99. That was markedly more expensive, but I do love it because it's nice and round and pretty. And this candlestick, I think, is the only thing on here aside from the hair woman that I bought new. This was from Matalan like a bajillion years ago, so that's cool. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys a haul, I guess, but not of stuff that I bought from shops. Not that buying things from shops is bad. That's where I get a lot of my like herbs and things, because obviously a lot of that stuff you have to buy new. But it's always nice to find something that costs very little money without costing the earth as well. So I encourage you to go out and find your favourite thrifting places to get witchy stuff. Because even if it's like stuff that is going to become like a craft project or something that you can just use as is, it's usually quite worthwhile to going, and it's really nice for me knowing that I have something like a tool that's already done some good because I bought it from somewhere where the money will go to benefit a hospice or cancer research or something like that, which is pretty cool. So I'll let you guys get back to your day. Au revoir! Well, hello everybody. If you can hear a rattling, it is my solar-powered scarecrow over there, which is bobbing away in what limited sunlight that we have. But I went to another thrift sale, Jumble sale, yesterday, and I decided to record this to tack on to my other Jumble sale haul, because there's a lot more stuff in this one. Now, I owe that mainly to the fact that I burned my prosperity candle before we left, but also I accidentally forgot to put it out. So it just kind of sat on my altar, burning away, not directly underneath that shelf because I had moved it, but that was not safe, and I do not advertise that lack of fire safety. My brother and my dad were still in the house, so if it had caught fire, I assume they would have eventually noticed if it interfered with much of the day. But I found quite a lot of stuff, and a lot of it was quite inexpensive stuff, so I thought I would do a little bit of a witchy haul slash haul because some of it is just very much not witch related. So the first things I'm going to show you are things that I got that I had to put in the dishwasher because they were filthy, because the Jumble sale was disgusting. There's like a lot of dust and stuff, and things have obviously been in lofts and garages, and they're a bit wet and mouldy and gross. But the first thing was this, which is a Bodum Cafetiere travel cup. That's come up lovely in the dishwasher actually. It basically looks new. I'm a coffee drinker. I'm not like a tea witch, so this is perfect for me. Obviously you can put your ground coffee in, and then there's this space at the bottom where the plunger will push it when it's brewed. It's quite a big space for quite a lot of coffee, so it wouldn't actually make that much liquid. But I bought this for 50p, which is quite good because they are really expensive if you buy them new. I don't know if I'm going to keep it for my own personal use because I already have a travel cup, although this one obviously has the advantage of it's dishwasher safe, whereas the other one is not. But the other one is thermal, so a little bit more preferable. So I might put this on eBay, which is basically what I do with all the stuff I buy at Jumble sales that I don't want to keep, but I might fetch a good price on eBay. The other thing I got was this. They had literally tons of these. I love a good glass bottle. This one was very thick and lovely, and it has a nice tight fitting cork, although it is a bit stained. I put this through the dishwasher, so that's come up quite clean, except for, I don't know if you can see this kind of like sediment ring at the top from where it's had like a, I think vinegar or something in it. But that's going to go with some other bottles that I keep on a shelf just to look pretty. I'm not actually going to store anything in it, so that's fine. I got a bunch of other shit in this bag, so strap in. We're here for the long haul. Long haul. So these two things are things that I got literally just for eBay. They are a professional dog grooming tool thing. I think the package has been opened, but it hasn't been taken out of the package. That's just for eBay. Although I had nagged my parents to get one for our dog for ages. Our dog died a few months ago, so don't really need to have it anymore. So it's going on eBay. And this is just a fitness tracker thing, like a jelly blue watch. Those were £1 together, so I'm going to try and get at least £1 for each of those on eBay. I try not to put things on for like a huge amount more than I paid for them, because that just seems mean. This gift set I got with 2 packets of seeds that I've given to my mum. That was £1 altogether. I actually had this ages ago as like a present, but I bought it to go with some makeup that I've like cleared out that can go on eBay, so that's going to be part of a job lot. Not entirely pleased with this as a purchase because it was like £1 obviously for basically just this, which is like the second most expensive thing that I bought. I got these pillar candles and some other things which I'm trying to find in this box. Here we go. With this sun dangler, which I think is like part of a lamp or something, but I'm going to put it in my window to catch the sun and look very pretty. Obviously I do take these down on days when, like in the summer last year, we had a massive heat wave, and that kind of powerful sunlight through something like this can start fires. So I do take these down on like ridiculously sunny days, but on regular days they are nice, and that's very pretty. And that was with this bottle from earlier as well. That was £1 altogether, so that was probably like my best thing. These are just really pretty solid blue candles. I picked one up and the lady behind me was like, "Lady in the leather jacket, lady in the leather jacket," and then she just handed me this because she'd also found one somewhere else and thought I might want the pair, which she was correct, I did. One of these is probably going to go on my spiky candlestick thing, and the other one I might use, say, for like healing spells and things, because that's what I mostly use light blue candles for. So I've got those things. I bought this lot as like a bunch of stuff for £1. So we have 3 items. One is this very nice lobster pot float, like a decorative one, green glass with the rope around it. A lot of people use these as witch balls or like crystal balls. You can use them to, predict the future, I guess, or see visions as you would a crystal ball. I already have a crystal ball, so I don't actually need this. It's going to go in a lot of Wiccan pagan objects. I do those from time to time on eBay. Just cull things from my collection, like the odd packet of incense or crystal that I don't use anymore. I package it up with books that I don't really want or magazines that I have left over and do it as just like a job lot. Again, so that's an item to build one of those around, but it is very pretty. I also got this. It's just a little wooden mushroom that someone's made on a lathe or something. It has a little bit of paint on the top. Don't know if you can see that, but basically just comes right off. So that's all fine and good, and it's probably going to go up here with my little wooden man from last Jumble sale. I think it'll look at home there, or as part of decorations for maybe the autumnal equinox. So that's quite cute. And this is a Candle Company candle. I think it's just, from the construction of it, one of the cheap ones that you get from like Poundland or something. But it's a gingerbread latte scented candle, and it actually smells really nice. I did smell it prior to buying it, so that's going to go in my store of windowsill candles so that I can, I like to light these when I'm playing like Xbox or something at night, because they just like make the place really atmospheric and they make it smell nice, or on days when I just want to air my room out and put a nice new fragrance in. So that was all £1 together. The most expensive things that I bought were actually a book, or a lot of books, because these 3 books cost me £3. First up is Season of the Witch by Natasha Mostert. I'd actually added this to my watch list on eBay as like a book to buy and review for the podcast, and I saw it sticking out of a box in the book area, so I was like, I wanted this, so I grabbed that. I also found a copy of The Crucible with this terrifying girl on it with devil horns. I've wanted to read this. I'm currently writing like a, oh look, someone's GCSE notes, lovely. I'm writing like a fantasy novel set in Salem at the moment, or like a Salem-esque town. So I thought this would be really good reading to like get into that kind of mindset and that kind of language use. So I wanted a copy of this, and it was so cheap, could not pass it up. With those two, for those £2, I also got this book. It's just a massive book of wildflowers. I saw some lady, she was scooping up like a bunch of these, and she put this one down and I grabbed it. It has some really lovely like illustrations of wildflowers, obviously, but you get these around where I live, and they're just so pretty. Like this is yarrow, which obviously has magical uses, and I thought I would cut these out with maybe some of this information and put it into my book of shadows or a separate book to make like a herbal of just the ones that I would use, and look up magical uses for nibblewort. Demonetised. Just look up magical uses for these, just so I could enjoy these really pretty illustrations, which I think would make my book look really nice. Obviously, I guess I could keep it just like this, but it takes up a lot of space in its current form, so I might not do that. So yeah, that was my massive haul from yesterday. It was similar to the first Jumble sale in that it was freaking crazy. Like, people were queuing, like there were about 50 people queuing outside when we got there, and that was 15 minutes before it started. The queue got just as big behind us while we waited for it to open. And then inside it was literally just like elbow to elbow at the tables. People were like trying to shove their way in and knocking things over and pushing people out of the way. It was like a Barney's sale in like a sitcom, but in a church hall full of old dusty crap. And most of it, I guess, is kind of crap, because like if a lot of other people saw these things, they would be like, this is garbage, why would you pay money for this? But it's all things that I like and things that I can use, and I like just the unique touches that they bring in. And it's a great place to get witchy stuff, like bottles and jars that you can make things out of, things to put it in your book of shadows, books about witches, and you get like new age type books there sometimes as well, and as well as a source of stuff that you can put on eBay to make money and just decorate items. Like your average person probably want to have this in their house because it's kind of, I guess, tacky and weird, but with my overall like witchy garden theme, kind of fits in really nicely. So one man's trash, another man's treasure. And I'm also doing a video on how to make the abundance candle that I lit and left burning while I got all of this stuff. So keep an eye out for that if you want to make one and have some successful bargain hunting as well. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video then. That's my laundry, don't look. Bye!